I will eventually get to the point in this series of exploring the nuts and bolts of authentic, of real leadership. But there is one other thing that I need to debunk before we go any further. We've already looked at the issues around behavioural modelling, or cutting and pasting somebody else's personality onto yours so that you can become a leader like them. We have already reviewed the extent to which adopting a leadership style is like hiding behind some kind of mask in the hope that everybody will believe in you. Very strange. And now I want to explore just a little bit about the extent to which a lot of succession planning in business, in other words, the preparation of the leaders for tomorrow, is actually based on a range of assessment tools that measure actually God knows what. Personality tests like Myers-Briggs, like the Insights Discovery Model, explore something that simply isn't there. Yes, we have particular predispositions in relation to how we behave ourselves based on our automated mind that uses our personality or our stored knowledge to generate those automatic behavioural patterns. But our personality is something that we learned during our formative years and, by its very nature, constrains us. It is the polar opposite of being authentic, of being true to one's true self. And therefore, in the first place, the point I want to make in this video is that assessment tools that claim to measure anything related to behavioural patterns or personality are actually measuring an illusion, reinforcing an illusion, and actually providing a situation in which other people in an organisation buy into the delusions of the people who are behaving in a patterned way. The point I'm making is assessment tools will not, and I repeat, will not actually pinpoint those who need to display the qualities of real leadership when it really matters. In other words, when they have actually become leaders in the organisation. That is why so many managers, for example, come up through the ranks. They were good doers, so they become good managers and can't tear themselves away from doing. But once they've got over the doing and actually grown into the role of manager, they are suddenly cherry-picked from there to move further up the ranks to become leaders. Now, a good manager is not necessarily a good leader. In fact, a good manager cannot be a good leader. If a good leader emerges from the ranks of management, it isn't because they were a good manager, it is because they were a good leader in the first place. And unfortunately, assessment tools will not actually display that, for the simple reason that assessment tools measure something that isn't there. In exactly the same way, for example, that 360-degree assessment tools or 360-degree feedback models cannot actually measure what is really there. If you consider, first of all, mathematically, 360 degrees means that you're actually going round in circles. But let's park that anomaly to one side. 360-degree feedback in an ordinary organisation has normal, crazy people giving their warped perspective on another normal, crazy person. It is probably worthless. Now, some people will say to me, surely you're going over the top there. But consider the behaviour of people in normal organisations as compared to the relatively small number of extraordinary or abnormal organisations that I certainly have experienced over the years. And they're few and far between in the so-called real world. My point, quite simply, is that real leaders emerge in an organisation by being cultivated by that organisation to develop their ability to be their real selves. Not by being put on a program where they go off and learn a variety of different apparently leadership competencies. Leadership competencies are not something that you learn. Leadership competencies are something that you display from within when you find yourself in the position of having to lead others and having to behave in a way that ensures that those others will willingly follow you and walk through walls for you, for their own good and for the good of the organisation.